Okay. I think
एक मिनिट थांबा जरा स्ट्रीमिंग होत आहे. येस, आपण सुरू करू शकतो. गुड इव्हिनिंग एव्हरीवन. I will request Dr. Rajgopal sir to take this today's lecture, and he will introduce our speaker, Dr. Uttam sir from Shillong.
Yeah,
To Rajgopal sir.
Yes, thank you so much, Vartak madam, and welcome everyone. A hearty welcome to all of you on this beautiful early monsoon evening. My name is Rajgopal Patil, and I welcome you on behalf of Maharashtra Vruksha Samvardhini and Institute of Natural History Education and Research, Pune. This is in association with our Department of Botany at our Jhunjhunwala College in Mumbai, as well as IQAC. Happy to have you all continue our of botanist and
Sharma sir, please एक 2 मिनिटं सायलेंट होता.
हा हे होत नाहीये ना?
नाही, तुमच्या इथनं नाही सर, अजून सम अदर. या ओके.
तुमचा आवाज कट होतोय राजगोपाल मध्ये मध्ये.
There is some other background. Sharma sir, can you mute it just?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir. So, as I was saying, we continue our series of online talks in memory of the well-known botanist and conservationist, Dr. V.D. Vartak, in his centenary year. So before we get started, just simple housekeeping instructions. Just these are all to ensure that we all get good listening and as well as watching experience. So let's keep our microphones on mute when we are not speaking. Questions are very welcome, and but we will take them at the end of the talk. During the talk, you can put them in the chat box if you want, or you can at the end of the talk, you can unmute your microphone and ask your questions. So let's get started. Today we are going to talk about bats. These remarkable creatures, the only true flying mammals, which are often shrouded in mystery, but they are an essential role in our ecosystem by controlling insect populations, and they are also key to pollinating plants. And despite some common misconceptions, bats are not only fascinating but also crucial for our environment and as well as our agriculture. And we have the pleasure of learning from a very distinguished bat researcher, Dr. Uttam Saikia, who is going to talk to us from the beautiful northeast region. Welcome, Saikia sir. I request Dr. R.M. Sharma, former Additional Director of Zoological Survey of India and the President of Institute of Natural History Education and Research, to introduce our speaker for this evening. Over to you, Sharma sir.
Oh, thank you very much, Dr. Rajgopal. In fact, I have great pleasure in introducing my colleague, friend, and student as well, all put together. Dr. Uttam Saikia is currently working as a senior scientist in the Northeastern Regional Center of Zoological Survey of India, Shillong. He obtained his master's degree and PhD from Guwahati University, Assam. For his doctoral research, he worked on the taxonomy and distribution of the bat fauna of the Western Himalayan state of Himachal Pradesh. His current research interest lies in understanding the systematics of the bat fauna of India, especially in the Himalayan region, using an integrative taxonomic approach. By now, he has established taxonomic collaborations with many reputed institutions, including the Natural History Museum of Geneva and Hungarian Natural History Museum of Budapest. Mr. Saikia, Dr. Saikia has described and co-described 2 new species of bats from India and has also reported several bat species for the first time from India, or rather South Asia, I should say. He also has an interest in biopaleontology, that is cave biology, as an interesting phenomenon, and also regularly contributes popular articles in newspapers and periodicals. He has over 45 peer-reviewed publications and is the author of the pictorial book Bats of Meghalaya. So with this short introduction, I pass on the platform to Dr. Saikia. Dr. Saikia, please.
Thank you very much, sir, for this very gracious introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Uttam Saikia, working as scientist in Zoological Survey of India, Shillong, for the last couple of years. So basically, I work on bats. So it's a pleasure to be here with all of you, and whatever little I know to share with all of you people. So today my topic will be demystifying bats, nature's lesser known heroes. Okay, sir. Next slide. Next slide, please. Hello. Hello.
Yes, can you actually move to the next slide? Hold on, I think it is not showing up on there.
Yeah, it's not moving, sir. It's not moving. And I take this opportunity to, sir, thank you, especially Maharashtra Vruksha Samvardhini Institute of Natural History Education and Research and Department of Botany, PG College, Mumbai, for giving me this invitation and giving me this chance to speak to you. Thank you so much. Okay, well, I could see the slide here. So bats are mammals, not birds. So many people normally think that bats are like birds because they can fly, but actually they are mammals. Mammals means they belong to the same group as we human do. So in scientific parlance, in scientific words, we call them Chiroptera. Chiroptera means hand-winged. It's a Greek word, of course. It's a form of a Greek form. So it belongs to the order called Chiroptera, means hand-winged. And they are, of course, one of the 20 orders of mammals. So bats are indeed mammals. The only common thing between bats and birds is that both can fly. And that is the only common thing between bats and birds. Like any other mammals, bats give birth to pups. For example, mammals, this is the very basic characters of mammals, that they give birth to their babies. So bats also, they also give birth to pups. We call them pups. And pups are nourished by mother milk till they fly, or till they can go on their own. They can fly independently. That means they are nourished by their mother's milk. So this is another basic characteristics of mammals. So there is no doubt that bats are not birds, they are mammals. So next slide, please. Hello, mom. Next slide, please.
Yeah, actually it's showing. I don't know why it's not showing for you. I've already moved on to the next slide.
Okay, it's come.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah. Yes, sir. The second slide is visible now. So how many kinds of bats? So bats are amazingly diverse animals with over 1400 species known throughout the world. Actually, the numbers keeps on changing. At this moment, the number is 1483. So they are very diverse animals. At least 1483 species of bats are known throughout the world. And they are the second largest group of mammals after rodents. Rodents means either rats mice or squirrels. So for rodents, around 2,000 species are there. So bats are second to rodents in the species diversity. And there are hardly any place in the world where bats are not found except for the polar regions and a few oceanic islands. They are found almost everywhere on Earth except for the polar region or a few oceanic islands. So they are cosmopolitan in distribution. Next slide, please, sir.
Can you see it now? The next slide.
Not exactly, sir. That small, something is coming, sir. It's not clear. Kindly skip this slide, sir. Go to the next slide. Well, so throughout the world, as I told earlier, we have 1483 species of bats throughout the world. And in India, we have 134 species of bats. And they belong to at least 9 families. So out of that, one family is called Pteropodidae, or they are called fruit bats. So fruit bats are very common everywhere. So especially the first picture which I have shown, Pteropus medius, it's called the flying fox, Indian flying fox. It's very common everywhere. So we have 12 species of fruit bats in India, out of which I have shown only 4. This the very common flying fox, then Cynoptera sphinx, Megidops nifani, and Macroglossus sobrinus. Why they are called fruit bats? Because basically they eat fruits, sometimes very tender leaves, pollens, etc. The fourth bat which I am showing, Macroglossus sobrinus, it's a typical Southeast Asian element, of course found in Northeast India. It feeds on nectar. And Cynoptera sphinx and Megidops nifani, both they eat on fruits. And even Pteropus medius also basically eats on fruits and sometimes even twigs, small birds also. So this is all about fruit bats. I am showing only 4 slides, 4 pictures, but there are 12 species of fruit bats in India. Then second one is mouse-tail bats. So mouse-tail bats, this belongs to a family called, it's not clear, sir. It's not coming now. Yes, sir?
Yeah. 1 second.
The slide is gone. Can you just share it?
Yeah, although I am sharing it, but somehow that switch is not going through because I am already on the next slide here. 1 second, sir. Let me just figure it out what's going on here.
Okay, sir.
1 second, sir. Just give me a minute, sir.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Get it fixed in a minute.
सर आप बैट के बारे में कॉमन
Yes, ma'am.
Now, can you see the next slides?
Yes, sir.
Are they
Yes,
moving?
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So yes. So these are called mouse tail bats, because why they call mouse tail bats? You can see the tail. You can very easily see the tail, almost means coming out like a mouse tail. So it's a family called Rhinopomatidae. We have two species of mouse tail bats in India. One is called Rhinopoma microphyllum, and another called Rhinopoma hardwicki. Both these species are normally found in dry areas like Rajasthan, Gujarat, and all these areas. So you do not get this bat species in other areas, especially in Northeast. So the first one is Rhinopoma microphyllum, and second is hardwicki. The difference between these two bats is that the tail in this hardwicki is longer than the forearm length, and in microphyllum it's shorter. And also size-wise, also microphyllum is slightly larger in size. So these are the two mouse-tail bats found in India, only two species. So next slide, sir. Then we have another family called false vampire bat or Megadermatidae. So if you look at this face, it looks like a vampire bat, although they are not true vampires. That means vampire bats normally they are sanguivores. That means they suck blood. But these are false vampire. Only they look like vampire bats. So we have two species of vampire bats in India. One is called Lyroderma lyra, it's a great vampire bat, and the lesser vampire bat, Megaderma spasma. So these two bats are basically carnivorous bats. So they do hunt and eat small rodents, frogs, etc. Okay, sir. Next slide. So this is another family of bats called sheet-tailed bats. So we have 6 species of sheet-tailed bats in India. Why they call sheet-tailed bats? Because they are half of their what you call the wing tail membrane. The tail comes out of the tail membrane at the half the length. That means half is enclosed within the tail membrane and half is completely out of the tail membrane. They are called sheet-tail bats. We have 6 species. Here I am showing only 2 species which are very common in Northeast. One is called Tephrosus melanopogon and another is called Secoleimus. And these are very common in our places, especially in our villages, in coconut trees and these areca trees. It's common species here. So next slide, sir. Then we are having another family of bats called free-tailed bats. So we call it moloscids. There are 4 species of free-tailed bats in India. Why they are called free-tailed bats? Because I have shown the first picture. You can see it probably. The tail is almost free from the interfemoral membrane. So they are called free-tailed bat. Yes. Then there are 4 species. Here I have shown 3 species. First, the first one is called Otomops rotoni. For you people of Maharashtra, this is very important bat probably, because this is the bat which was described from a cave in Balgam district, probably Barapat cave. So till recently, this bat was known to be existing only in that particular cave, with population is less than 100 individuals. But recently, it has been discovered in several places of Meghalaya also, and there is a single record from Cambodia also. So apparently, this is more widespread than we previously thought. Still, it's a very highly protected species under Wildlife Protection Act of India, and also it's a data deficient species in IUCN. Then secondly, we have a species called Pterorhida insignis. The third photograph actually. So before, in fact, today I am telling this thing. Shortly, we are publishing one paper where we revisited this bat fauna of Western Himalaya, India. So where now he thought that this bat belongs to another species called Pterorhida, but now we are clear from our studies, from genetic studies and morphological studies, that this belongs to another species called Pterorhida insignis, which is found in the Himalayan region of India. So this will be the first record for India as well. So that paper is likely to come up next week probably. Then third picture is belongs to a bat called Mops plicatus. This is also same. Apparently they looks very similar. There are differences of course in cranial characters, also in size also. So this picture is given by my dear friend and collaborator Rohit Chakrabarti. He captured this particular bat from Western Himalaya. So this is all about free-tailed bats. Next, we have a very broad, very common group of bats called horseshoe bats. So in India, we have 20 or 21, that depends on how you look at. Actually, there is one species called Rhinolophus indoroxai, that we know that this is a quite different species, but because it was not properly described following ICGN criteria, means following scientific criteria, so some people do not still recognize it as a species. So depending on that, we have 20 or 21 species of horseshoe bats. So why we call them horseshoe bat? Because there is a particular horseshoe-like structure in the face. Probably you have seen it in, I cannot show it here. Oh, yes. That horseshoe-like structure is there on the face. And because of the presence of that particular structure, we call them horseshoe bats. So there are at least 20 species of horseshoe bats in India. So out of that, I have shown only 4. The first one is Rhinolophus nippon. This is also probably the largest horseshoe bats in India. Then second one is called Rhinolophus fusilus. This is the smallest horseshoe bat in India. Then thirdly, it's called Rhinolophus pernigar. It's very common in Northeast India. It's a very dark, woolly colored bat. And also in Himalayan region of India, of course in Uttarakhand, Himachal also. Then we have another species which I have shown, very colorful, very bright colored, Rhinolophus vruksha. I have given only 4 pictures in every slide. However, there are 20 species of horseshoe bats in India. Next slide, please, sir. So now coming to another family called leaf-nosed bat, or we call them Hipposidereus. Hipposidereus, the family we call it. So in this family, there are again 16 or 17 species of bats. There is one species called Hipposidereus khasiana. It was described from Meghalaya only in 2007, but again, it was not described properly following the international ICGN criteria. So some people do not recognize it as a valid species, but we know it's a different species. So depending on that, there could be 16 or 17 species of leaf-nosed bats in India. So why they are called leaf-nosed bat? Because you can see in their face, those very peculiar structures, leaf-like structures are there in their face. So they are called, it's a close-up picture of Hipposidereus armiger. Yes, those structures are leaf-like. So they are called leaf-nosed bats. So this is the largest, one of the largest leaf-nosed bat in India, called Hipposidereus armiger. It's very common in the Himalayan region again. Then second, we have a very cute leaf-nosed bat called Coleops friti. It's I would say it's not very common bat. Of course, I have seen only once in Meghalaya. So this is given by another of my friend called Dr. Adora. She has given this picture. So this is another kind of leaf-nosed bat. Then we have the third picture belongs to Hipposidereus gentilis. This is one of the smallest leaf-nosed bat in India. Then thirdly, very colorful, Hipposidereus lavatus. Of course, this is a species complex. We are still working on that. And fourthly, this is another big leaf-nosed bat called Hipposidereus lankadeva. So there are at least 16, 17. I have given only a picture of 5 species here. Next slide, please. Then this is the biggest family of bats called evening bats, which we normally call Vespertilionidae. So there is no single characters by which we can distinguish this particular family. They are actually a suite of characters by which only we can assign them to this particular family. So here it's a very broad family, very big family with 47 species at least. So I have given only some very important or prominent bat species under this particular family. The first one is called Myrostilus geoffrey. This is a bat which we have reported for the first time from South Asia in 2017. It was reported from India as well as from Nepal. Earlier, it was known only from Myanmar, Cambodia, Vietnam, etc. And it's a very rare bat at the time. But people started working. Now I have also collected this species in 3-4 localities in Northeast India. And one of my colleagues, Dr. Rohit Chakrabarti, he has also got it from Uttarakhand even. Then, of course, in IUCN, this is a data division species. The second one is called Myotis alterium. This is another bat which we reported again in 2018 or 19 from India and also from Vietnam. Earlier, it was known from very few countries in China, then then in Cambodia also. So now it's known from India also, and also Vietnam. Then third one is called Eudiscopus denticulus. This is another species of bat, which we reported in 2021, again from India for the first time. So it's a very colorful bat. It's a bright orange in color, but when it is like immature, it is quite black. You cannot differentiate whether it's the same species or different species actually. Then thirdly, that fourth one, it's a bat called Submethodon caliginosus. This is a genus which were earlier confined to China and Taiwan, but in 2022 we are fortunate enough to collect this specimen from Western Himalaya, especially from Himachal Pradesh, and later on from Uttarakhand also. So this genus was reported for the first time from South Asia. So this is called Submethodon caliginosus. Then the fifth picture belongs to a bat, of course, that is my bat. I call it Gliscropus megalenus. We have described this bat in 2022 from Meghalaya, from a wildlife sanctuary in Meghalaya. We call them Meghalaya thick thumb bat, Gliscropus megalenus. Then another bat called Murina giantiana. It was a bat described from Meghalaya in 2011 by my colleague, Dr. Manuel Rudy. So now we have found this bat even in Myanmar also, even from other places of Northeast India like Mizoram also. From my recent survey, I collected this bat from Mizoram also. So it's quite apparently widespread in Southeast Asia. Then these three species, of course, these are very beautiful bats. That's why I put it in the slide. One is called this Areolus circumdatus. It's earlier it is known as a pipistrelle only, but it's very beautiful pipistrelle actually. It looks like a very with kind of bronze-colored hairs are there. When you see them alive, it's really a beautiful, beautiful bat. Then secondly, it's the next one is Thylonycteris malayana. It's a bamboo bat. We'll discuss it about this their habitat later on. Of course, this is a bamboo-dwelling bat. It's a very small bat, one of the smallest bat in India. And the last picture belongs to a bat called Placotus wardi. So it's normally they are called whispering bats. You can see their ears very large ears. You can see them because they can hear very low frequency sound also, like us, they can hear. So that's why they are called whispering bats. So we have two species of Placotus, of course, in Western Himalaya and in Eastern Himalaya as well. So out of that, I have given this wardi, Placotus wardi. This is a picture from Himachal Pradesh. So this is all about the bat diversity of India. We have at least 133 species of bats at this moment, but this number keeps on increasing. Very soon, of course, very hopefully it will be again increased to at least 134 species. So next slide, sir. Oh, okay. I forgot one last family. This is called Miniopterus, long-fingered bats, or we call them Miniopteridae. So we have 5 species. Actually, this is a group called cryptic species. We have lots of cryptic species in this genus called Miniopterus. Till recently, we had only 3 species of Miniopterus in India, but in 2022, this new species called Miniopterus phillipsi was described from India and Sri Lanka, and I'm also a part of the group who described this species. Then we have that common one called Miniopterus polyginosus. Then we have another one called Miniopterus magnetar. Then we have another one called Miniopterus fusilus, small one, and another species called Miniopterus srini, which was described by Dr. Srinivasulu and his team very recently. So we have at least 5 species of long-fingered bats at this moment in India. Yeah. Next slide, sir. So bats have enormous variation in size and shape. Probably you can see the first picture. This is the largest bat in the world. One person is standing near the particular bat. This is called the largest bat called golden crown flying fox. It's a bat endemic to Philippines. So if you see the wingspan, it goes to around 6 and 5 feet. So it's a huge, huge bat. It's a fruit bat, of course. The second picture belongs to a bat called bumblebee bat. This bumblebee bat, as the name suggests, it's the smallest bat in the world and one of the smallest mammal in the world, actually. This is found in this Southeast Asia, especially in Cambodia, and then there's a record even from Thailand. Of course, Thailand is there. Then there's a record from Eastern Myanmar also. So these are the biggest and the smallest bat in the world. And the last picture is the smallest bat in India, the pygmy pipistrellus tenuis. This is also a very small bat, of course. It weighs around 2.5 grams. So it is one of the smallest bat in India. We don't have, of course, a bumblebee bat in India. So you can see that there is enormous variation in size and shape. So bat evolution. So we'll just basically, discuss about bats. Where did they come from? How they evolved actually. So that means like how bats appeared on Earth. This is the evolution's greatest, one of the evolution's greatest puzzle. How they how did they come from? Fossil record is the best way of telling how animals evolve. Of course, fossil is one of the most telling evidence of animal evolution. But unfortunately, for bats, the thing is different. Scientists have discovered a complete fossil of bat which date back to 53 million years ago. This is a bat belonging to the extinct genus called Icaronectris. This was recently described in a paper in 2023. So this skeleton belongs to a bat called Icaronectris gunnelli, which is estimated to be at least 53 million years old. However, no protobat fossils are discovered yet. As you can see in this picture, this is a complete bat with his complete wings and very developed cochlea. That means this bat is capable of echolocation, and bat is completely, means like it's a complete fully developed bat, which it's fully developed flight capacity. But we don't have any probot bat fossils. That means we do not have any fossils which show the intermediate stages of evolution. That means how the evolution, this is a complete bat, but there are pre-stages, pre-bats. There is no fossil evidence as such. So in the absence of such evidences, scientists can only speculate that bats have evolved from some tree-living mammals that started gliding before taking to flight. It's just the best, probably the guess only, because there is no fossil evidence so far to prove that bats have evolved from some tree-living mammals. Next slide, sir. So now we'll discuss about what they eat. Breaking bread, what do bats eat? Bats are broadly divided into two groups: fruit-eating bats and insect-eating bats. This is a very layman kind of classification: fruit-eating bats and insect-eating bats, because some fruit-eating bats or fruit bats do eat in all other things also, like insect also even. And some insect-eating bats also, not only insect, they eat so many things. So first is, of course, the Macroglossas sobrinus, which I'm showing as a fruit-eating bat. This is a bat which eat on nectar. Although we call them fruit-eating bat, it is exclusively nectar-feeding bat. This is found in Northeast India, of course. Then, of course, we have another bat called fish-eating bat. In India, this bat is only found so far, reported only from Meghalaya. We call it Myotis ricketi or Myotis pilosus. Pilosus, of course, is the current name. So Myotis pilosus is a fish-eating bat. It is found in the caves of Meghalaya, and it hunts for fishes. And third one is called, it's a carnivore bat. It's a vampire bat, false vampire bat. Of course, we don't have true vampire bats in India. This is a false vampire bat. So they are carnivore. As I told you earlier, they are carnivore bats. They do hunt on small rodents, sometimes even lizards, even frogs also. Then third is blood-eating bats. These are two true vampires. Of course, Desmodas, belonging to the genus Desmodas. Of course, they are found in the tropical South America only. They are not found in India. They do suck bloods of some vertebrate animals, including human. And fourth is the insect-eating or even the carnivore bat. This is a bat called Iaio. The name is very funny, Iaio. This is a bat in India only found in Meghalaya. So far, it's found only in Meghalaya. This is a bat. This basically it hunts on even small bats and even small birds like sparrow also. So this is a kind of insect-eating or carnivore bat. So bats, they do eat, means like their food habit is very, broad. They eat on fish, they eat on vertebrate animals, they eat on insects, they eat on fruits, nectar, so and so forth. So next slide, please. So their roosting habit, where do bats, rest in the daytime? Of course, they are nocturnal animals, so they'll be roosting during the daytime only. So bats roost on a variety of places like trees, under leaves, in tree holes, inside bamboo, caves, mines, ruins, bridges, houses, etc. So the first picture I have shown is a Cynoperas called Cynoperas sphinx. It's a foliage roosting bed. That means it roosts under leaves. So this is this picture was taken while from a palm tree. These bats are roosting in a palm tree, Cynoperas sphinx. Then second is cave roosting bats. Of course, there are numerous species of bats which live roost on caves, especially in Meghalaya. Since I'm working in Meghalaya, Meghalaya has got lots of caves. We have found that at least 30 species of bats are they are normally found only inside caves in Meghalaya. So they are, of course, rhinolophus, hippocyterus, even Vespertilinis, they roost inside caves. And in fact, in one, two species of fruit bats even. Then, of course, third is the tree roosting bats. This is a very common picture. I mean, these are all flying fox, Theropus, medius. So they are roosting. Normally, they roost in tree. Then fourth is the bamboo dwelling bat. These are called specialized bats. These are called, we call them Thylonyctris. These are very specialized bats. They roost normally means exclusively inside bamboo internodes. So these bats are in India. These bats are found only in Northeast India, of course. Almost all the states of Northeast India. So this is a bat called Thylonyctris malayanus. It's a small bat. They roost inside bamboo internodes. Okay, sir. Next slide, sir. Then bat navigation, biological sonar. So many people might be hearing that bats are blind, or they cannot, they cannot see, or they normally emit some sounds, and by that sound only they navigate. That's true, probably. So they have a very but bats are not blind. You must remember that bats are not blind, and some of the bats probably they can even distinguish colors also. For example, the fruit bats. In the fruit bats, you can see them. Their eyes are quite well developed, and all the fruit bats navigate through their eyesight only, so they do not echolocate. But the other groups, the big other group called insectivorous bats, they fly and hunt with the help of a very sophisticated mechanism we call it echolocation. So what echolocation does, actually they emit some high frequency sound wave by vibrating the larynx, that means our voice box, which are emitted from the mouth, or either from the mouth or nose. And these sound waves are reflected back upon hitting an object in the space. And from the reflected wave, they can determine the distance, of course, the size, and even the texture of an object. Even the small organisms, like even the mosquitoes, small fly, they can detect through echolocation. It's a very sophisticated mechanism. So in the, probably you have seen in the horseshoe bats and leaf-nose bats, these particular structures are there. Those particular structures are probably to help focus that particular sound wave to a particular point. So they have some function relating to echolocation. So next slide, sir. So this is the basic mechanism of echolocation. So bats are emitting some sound waves. So these sound waves are bouncing back after hitting some object, like this is a small fly or moth. So it's coming back. So bat will it will receive those sounds, and it will determine the distance, how far it is this particular individual is, or whether it's moving or stationary. It can determine anything. It's a very sophisticated mechanism for bats. So in the two pictures, this is called spectrogram. Actually, these are what we have. Actually, we have some devices called bat recorders. So many people are using nowadays. So bat recorders, what we do through bat recorders, we record their echolocation calls, because almost every species of bats have their own particular signature echolocation calls. So we record these calls and analyze these calls in some softwares. So then we get these spectrograms. So for a leaf-nose bat, the structure of the call structure will be something different, and for a evening bat, which we call a Vespertilian, there will be a different kind of structures. So there are certain parameters which we measure for determining this particular characteristics of a call structures. This is just for information only. Next slide, please, sir. So bats are amazingly long-lived animals. You might be surprised. Surprised to know that bats are lived really long. And the most the highest longevity record for bats so far is a small bat called Brand's mutis. So this particular bat was discovered after 41 years of banding, because for maybe many people might be knowing that we do band birds, means we put some rings in their legs or in the forearms. So this bat was banned for a long, at least 41 years ago, and when it was recaptured in Siberia, it was found that this particular ring was put in the bat at least 41 years ago. That means this bat has been living in the wild for at least 41 years. So this is quite a surprising for a small animal, such a small animal like a bat. So it is living for 41 years. It's quite a mystery actually. And most of the bats, they cross 20 years at least in the wild. But compared to other small animals like rodents, they hardly live for 2-3 years. And even for large carnivores, also they not even cross 10 years. Many carnivores. But how the bat achieve that particular how they are able to live such a long time. So this is again ongoing research, and nobody actually know how it happens. Next slide, please, sir. And bats are the fastest mammal on Earth. So in our textbook, normally what we have found that cheetahs are the fastest animal on Earth, but that has changed now. Actually, this is the fastest animal on Earth is a Mexican free-tailed bat, which achieve a speed of at least 60 km per hour, which can achieve, I would say. So not the cheetah, the bats are the fastest animal on Earth. Next slide. Then coming to this most important part, why bats matter. Actually, we see them very often, we see them so commonly, but we do not know what is the importance of bats. Believe it, bats are one of the most valuable creatures on Earth. And over 500 species of plants depend upon bats for pollination. As you know already, without pollination, there won't be any fruits, there won't be any flowers, there won't be any fruits, there won't be any food at all. So at least 500 species of plants are there in the wild, which are dependent on bats for pollination. Then among these plants, there are many economically important plants like agave, avocado, banana, guava, mango, mahua, etc. These plants are economically important because they give fruits and many byproducts are produced from this. For example, agave. Agave is a tree. That first picture is the agave only. It's a not a tree. It's a small plant, but the fruit is very huge. So agave is pollinated by a small bat called lesser long-nosed bat. So it's found in Mexico basically. So from agave we make this alcoholic beverage called tequila. So the global market for tequila is almost in 2024 it was estimated to be more than $11 billion US. So you can imagine the economic value of agave. So that particular agave plant is pollinated by a particular fruit bat only. No other things can pollinate agave plant. Then besides like birds, bats are also prolific seed dispersers, thus helping in the regeneration of forest. Of course, this is a very, very important, crucial ecological job bats perform, because especially for seed eaters like frugivorous bats, they are very effective seed dispersers. So they help in the regeneration of forest also. Next slide, please, sir. Then bats are voracious insect eaters. Many of these insects are agricultural pests or disease vectors. So as you know, many bats are insectivorous bats. So they eat lots of insects, including flies, mosquitoes, everything. So in that way, they help in lots of, saving. They saves a lots of money by eating this agricultural pest and also even disease vectors. It is estimated that some bats can eat up to 4 to 5 grams of insect per night. You can imagine this. A small bat is they just weigh almost 4 to 5 grams. So they almost their body weight they can consume per night. So if there is a million bats in a colony, so you can imagine how much of insect they will eat in a single night. The picture I have shown is from a Bracken cave. It's a cave in Texas in US, which holds more than 20 million Mexican free-tail bats. This is the largest mammalian congregation in Earth. So if this Mexican free-tail bat, there are 20 million bats. If they eat even 1 gram of insect per night also, you can imagine how much insect they are eating per night. And it is estimated that in the US, natural pest control by bats saved the farmer annually by 23 billion US dollars. That is 1.9 lakh crore Indian rupees. It's a huge, huge amount. Of course, we don't have any data for Indian context because no studies have been done so far. But in the US, they have calculated that bats saves us, saves US from at least, by at least 23 billion US dollars. Next slide, please, sir. So coming to this point called maligned or malicious bats and diseases. This is one of the most probably pertinent question people are normally asking is whether bats are responsible for diseases or whether bats are really harmful. So I'll try to clear a few things about bats. So in spite of tremendous usefulness, bats are always negatively portrayed as in the media. For example, flying, some people call them flying rats, some people call them these blood-sucking vampires, etc. Common people also have aversion to them as dirty, dangerous, disease-causing creatures. Of course, they harbor a number of viruses. Their unique immune system allows that, but not all these viruses are dangerous, and they cannot jump to human that easily. There are certain diseases which are known, bats are known carrier. For example, rabies, Nipah, Hendra, etc. Some of the diseases which are definitely known from bats, of course. Of course, rabies, probably you know, it's a very fatal disease. Once the symptoms of rabies manifest in a particular individual, there is no chance of survival. So, but the point is that most of the cases of rabies in India are caused by not domestic, these are stray dogs, of course. And there is, at this moment, till date, probably there is not a single case of bat-induced rabies in India as well as in Southeast Asia. That is definitely proven that this has been transmitted by a bat. Of course, there is a chance. Of course, since I am also working on bats, I do take rabies vaccine regularly. So it's not that common. But of course, in the US and the Europe, it's a common problem. Of course, the bats are normally, sometimes they are found to be infected with rabies virus. But there is no authentic case of rabies in human caused by bats in India. Then, of course, there are these like Nipah, Hendra. They are, of course, there are certain bats species which are natural host of these viruses. Next slide, sir. So there have been so much of hue and cry about horseshoe bats and the source of COVID-19. This is during the COVID time, of course, there are so many big news that bats are causing COVID. Bats are the original source of COVID-19 virus, COVID-19, SARS-CoV-2, which we call scientifically. But till this moment, I would say that there is no scientific evidence to point that bats are the source of COVID-19 virus. In fact, only a few days back, only I had seen one report from one newspaper in BBC only that even German intelligence agencies and even US CIA also, they believe that it might have been a laboratory leak. Of course, nobody knows; they are all conjectures only. But there is no evidence to point, no concrete evidence to point that bats are the source of COVID-19. What the best evidence so far we have is that certain rhinolophus or horseshoe bats, they got some. Scientists discovered some elements of like genetic material in their which are similar to maybe COVID virus, the virus viral DNA, but not the virus itself. So it's not a definitive proof for sure. The same holds for some other viruses like Ebola and many things. Of course, scientists believe that Ebola is again bats are the natural host of Ebola, but there is no definitive proof as such. Then again, bats were also blamed for the Middle East respiratory syndrome called MERS outbreak, but ultimately it was found to be linked to another species called, the camel. So there is no risk of human. There is no risk of human from bats if we do not handle them. Actually, normally people do not handle bats, and as a researcher, I have to handle sometimes, but I have to be careful. That is the only thing. So if bats are in their wild, if they are in the wild, so there is no chance of any virus jumping to human or to other individuals. So we are safe if we let wild to remain wild. That is the take home message is that we are safe if we let them wild remain wild. So they will be we are also safe. They are also safe. So next slide. So in dire straits, of course, bat conservation. Throughout the world, bats are in grave danger from human encroachment, disturbances, hunting, diseases, and climate change. The first picture I have shown is from Meghalaya. These people actually, they are in front of a cave with their locally made devices and sticks, and they used to hunt bats because they will come out in the evening and they'll catch with their improvised nets and they'll consume them. So this is a picture from Jaintia Hills in Meghalaya. So bat hunting is not uncommon in Northeast India and in other parts of probably the world also. But the most probably the deadly threat to bats survival is probably a disease called white nose syndrome. It's a fungal disease. So this disease is spreading almost a majority of the US states and also in Canada. So it's killing thousands and thousands of, not thousands, it's killing millions and millions of bats, including some federally endangered species. So scientists yet do not know how to prevent this disease from spreading, and there is no treatment for this disease also at this moment. So this is one of the most probably horrifying threat for the survival of bats so far. So next slide, sir. So from the brink, a conservation success story. Of course, not everything is like so gloomy. Sometimes there is a silver lining also. So I'll just give one example called Pemba flying fox, so which has made a dramatic recovery from near extinction. As of 1989, there were very few individuals of this particular bat in an island called Pemba off the coast of Tanzania. So hunting for food was the prime reason for their extinction, almost near extinction. And what did Flora and Fauna International? They stepped in and they created awareness and stepped up to reserves to safeguard these habitats. And as in 2010, the population bounced back to over 2 lakh individuals. So this is a very, very everywhere you'll see. If you Google also, you will see this success story. How effective conservation measures sometimes can help not only in bats, in all wildlife, all kinds of plants and animals. We can save them by implementing effective conservation measures. So this is Pemba flying fox is one of the such success story for bat conservation in the world. So bats need our help. How can you help? So these are the very simple things I have mentioned here, which we can do in our daily life and which can help bats in their survival. First is avoid disturbing them and let them live where they are. Sometimes what we do if they are in especially in our villages, if they are inside roosting in our houses, we tend to chase them away. So probably this is not an ideal thing to do. Let them live where they are living. They won't do any harm to you. Avoid the use of pesticide in your garden. Let the hungry bats feed upon the insects, because if you use too much of pesticide, so there won't be any insect for bats to eat. So of course, without food, they cannot survive. So if there is no food, bat population will of course go down. Then turn your lights off when not required. Darkness is loved by bats. Of course, this is especially a problem for the big cities where there is almost light pollution is there. So if you can turn off your lights when it is not needed, bats will come to your places, nearby to your places. They will eat the insects and go away. Then most importantly, spread the words. Bats are actually useful creatures and there is nothing to fear about it. So that is the take-home message from my, they are actually very, very useful ecologically, both ecologically and economically important creatures. And there is nothing to fear about it. Let them live in their own habitat. So there is nothing to fear. So thank you very much. I'd be happy to take any questions from any of the audiences.
Saikia sir, wonderful talk. Very informative. Really enjoyed it. So many things, yeah, you covered. There are already some questions which are coming in through our through the chat box, and I'll just quickly take some of them.
Yes.
Pramod asks, Pramod sir, I think he asking, what is the best way of protecting our fruit garden from fruit bats without harming them?
Okay, sir. In Himachal, when I was posted in Himachal Pradesh, I have seen in some orchards, especially in Upper Shimla area. So they normally what they do, sir, they cover. They will leave one or two like fruiting trees out, and rest they will cover with nets. So these two, three, what they I mean like in apple orchards, they will leave these two in open, so that bats can come and eat the fruits. But rest of the fruits they normally they cover with what they call um, nets, nylon nets. So nylon nets means they do not they are not like mist nets. They are very thick nets, so they do not they will won't catch the bats. And sometimes I have seen also people like doing some putting some like some I don't know what they call effigies or something like of a bird bird of prey, like even uh, hawks and etc. But I don't know how effective they will be those things. But I asked these people whether it is I'm like you can save this. I mean by covering this, they say yes, yes, we are doing it for last so many years. Government only suggested, forest department only suggested to implement that one. So they are doing it. So after I left Himachal, of course, I do not know here what is the exact situation because we do not cultivate. I mean, like, but
Right.
in our place also, especially in Rizha Colony, I mean, where I am, my office is located. Of course, there is a very big fruit garden. There, I of course see, I have seen. I mean, like bats are coming and they are eating fruits, but they are not probably damaging the fruits because the government is making lots of money from these fruit gardens. They are selling even kiwi, even mangoes, even guava also they are selling. So probably it's not very detrimental to them.
Right. I think, sir, this is probably being faced all across in so many of urban centers today, where all the remaining, whatever the patches of remaining trees are there, especially big ones, those are the only ones which for fruit bats to occupy. So many urban areas they are, and I think especially you mentioned it very well through your about bats being either disease vectors, virus vectors, and especially after Corona, COVID, lot of people got scared of these bats that were living in the cities, and I think
Right, sir.
that is very helpful.
Yes, sir. In fact, sir, one fine morning, I got a call from forest department official from Himachal Pradesh. So that time I was in posted in Shillong only. That lots of bats are dying. I mean, in a district called Sirmoor. So I asked them why they are dying. So what is the season now? So it's a June month. Actually, they are not. They are afraid because maybe they thought that they are dying because of some diseases, but actually they are dying because of heat stroke probably. So that is June month, and they were those bats those that were reported from a place called Smore. So it's a quite like Shivalik area. It's a very low elevation area. So they might have got that the area becomes very hot during that time. So they might have got heat stroke and they were dying. But people are scared, and they have sent samples to NIV also in Pune, and all those fortunately all those samples came negative.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think we need more of such talks to dispel all these so many misconceptions that are going around about.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
Right.
So there are a few people who are asking about how they can get to know more. I think there's one question from Prasad Ji about any specific books for identification of bats in India, especially. Um,
Uh, so there is a book, sir. There is a book, of course, but that book is actually not for common people. That is called Bats of Indian Subcontinent, written by Paul Batts and D.L. Harrison. That is basically for actually such purpose and taxonomic book. And but unfortunately, there is no book as such which we can use for bats. Mm, for means like photographic identification of bats of India. My book on bats of Meghalaya that covers around 65 species of bats. That is a photographic guide of the bats of Meghalaya state, and you will be immersed to know that the state of Meghalaya is a tiny state, not more than 20,000 square kilometers, but we have like 67 species of bats in Meghalaya. So this book, that particular book covers at least the 50% of the bats of India at this moment. And I think there is another guide from Kerala also. Sri Hari Raman from Kerala Agriculture University has produced one book from on pictorial handbook on the bats of Kerala probably. So for India as such, there is no identification guide till this moment. And there is one book, Mammals of India, that by Vivek Menon from Wildlife Trust of India, that also covers lots of bats.
Yes.
But the problem is that for bats, there are lots of issues relating to identification. It's not possible to identify bats based only on photograph.
Right.
So since we are working on bats, now we realize how difficult it is to identify certain groups of bats. So probably it's a major issue.
Right. Awad sir also had some related question. He was wondering if there is anybody has done work in terms of association of bats with tree species. What do they prefer? Probably for food and roosting and other purposes. Any such work?
Of course, there are works in like if you Google, you'll find lots of work has been done on this plant and bat interactions, especially. But in the Indian context, of course, bats are very least known species. Even we do not know how many species are existing in our country even. So it's of course a black hole for us. A lot has to be done. But there are people, of course, working on ecological aspects of bats. Right? There are people. So if I can give my email, if you need some information regarding anything on bats, whatever information I'm having, I can provide you with my you can mail me at uttamzsi@gmail.com.
Okay, yes, sir. There were a couple of ones who wanted to know your contacts. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Uttam ZSI, one word, right?
Yes, sir. uttamzsi@gmail.com. So for any, basically, I'm a taxonomist. I'm not an ecologist as such. So my work basically is revolved around taxonomy, solving taxonomy problems we are facing in bats. So anyway, but I'll be more than happy to, if I'm unable to answer those questions, I'll be more than happy to connect to my colleagues across India or maybe abroad also. So hopefully you'll be able to get your answer.
That would be great. We have Dr. Vishwas Savarkar of WII as well as Sharma sir who commented and they liked the talk. Savarkar sir, would you like to add something to what you mentioned?
As was remarked earlier on, I feel that the many misconceptions people have about bats have been addressed completely. And I think it has created interest in bats. And as I see the questions, probably there will be a greater group of readers who would, like to read and also disseminate the information that they read. I think this was an excellent presentation. I was just recalling my innings in Melghat Tiger Reserve where there was Dr. Khajuria, who was in the ZSI center in Jabalpur.
Right,
and together with him, we saw Megaderma lyra in Melghat. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Yeah, right, sir. Dr. Khajuria, sir, actually is a doyen of in ZSI. When I was posted in Himachal Pradesh and Sharma sir, RM Sharma sir, he was the in charge of that particular station. I mean, High Altitude Research Center, Zoological Survey of India, Solon. So he suggested me to go to Khajuria sir, but at that time I came to know that he is almost like very ill and almost is not in a good state of health. So unfortunately, I couldn't meet him in Solon, and he passed away after some time. But of course, he is one of the pioneering worker on bats in Zoological Survey of India. Yes, sir.
That's right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Uttam, excellent presentation. And I am personally thankful to you for accepting this invitation. And I actually very much wanted to see you on video call. I mean, like that. After a long gap, I'm seeing your face.
Yes, sir. But sorry for so much of disturbance, sir. So much of
No, no. It's
training
okay.
having
We have solution providers like Raj Gopal, no?
here. Yes,
So
sir.
there's no problem. We bank on him for such kind of things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And
His home
he
is like
brings out something or the other, but he has never. I mean, there is no situation any day that nothing had happened and the talk has to be cancelled like that.
yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
these are hiccups is normally is very common.
Yes, sir.
But this has given you opportunity to make your equipments in order
Yes, sir. Oh,
for for such kind of thing. You take help of your daughter because they are
yes,
more.
yes, yes. Actually, sir, I don't know what is the problem. In fact, hello, sir.
Yeah, we
Yes,
can
yes.
hear you, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes, in fact, I went to the office so that I can do it from there. But
Okay.
unfortunately, the genset was there is some problem with the genset.
Okay.
Then I
Okay.
came back. Lots of traffic was there. It took me almost more than 1 hour just to reach. I mean, cover 4 kilometers. So I reached
Oh my
home.
God.
Then my laptop. I don't know. I have 3 laptops here, but I don't know what is the problem.
No, it's okay. This is you can check out now and keep at least one instrument in order for
Yes, sir.
such kind of talks, because this is very easy. We can hear you very nicely from such a long
Yes, sir.
distance.
Mm.
So anyway,
Yes,
good. I'm personally so happy.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
So
Thank
convey my regards to Mrs. Saikia and a lot of love to Gungun.
you. Yes, sir. Yes, sure. Thank you, sir. I'll convey. I'll convey,
Oh
sir.
yes, sure. So Rajgopal, anything?
Before actually, I think there will be few more.
Yeah, there's a vote of thanks.
Yeah,
No problem, sir. No problem.
probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I think let's get it covered.
Yeah,
Uh,
few minutes
Sir,
more.
actually, the session I have found so insightful and so knowledgeable. I have great respect for the bats now after attending this session. And I am one of the Rotarian. We are having international, one of the fellowship, wildlife fellowship group. And there we invite everyone for speaking this. And that is excellent, one of the group. I really would like to invite you there and I would like to know everyone about you. Thank you so much for sharing your email ID. If possible, share the WhatsApp number for a very
Yes,
fast
yes.
communication, and
I can.
I will connect you with them with the organizing team.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. My
Oh, great.
WhatsApp number is
Thank you for organizing this session, sir. I am very much happy.
Thank you.
Ha, sir. Sir, please share the WhatsApp number.
8731.
1 second, sir.
I'm putting it in the chat box. I think.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir.
8731 910 286. Eight 286. Is it okay, sir?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome, ma'am.
Today only I will communicate.
Sure, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Madam,
Thank you,
where
ma'am.
are you based, madam?
Actually, I am from Sangli, sir. I am from India only, but my club is USA and UK club,
Okay.
Rotary club. And
Okay.
I am associated with Bangalore club with the honorary membership. And I was with the local Sangli club. Because of my limitation, I am an environmentalist, sir, dealing with the
Okay.
environmental consultancy, mainly working on water, air, and other aspects related to estuary and distillery industry.
That's amazing. I think it's wonderful that you're taking interest in. Normally, this is one topic where it needs a lot of push to people to understand.
Right, sir. Right, sir.
And
Sir,
again, recently, actually, we are actually getting scared day by day with the onset of that virus JN1 or something.
Yes, sir.
So bats are again coming into the picture.
Yeah, right, sir. That I always tell to like whenever I go for any like talk and all, sir, I tell them that I have been working on bats for last 20 years. And except for rabies, I'm not vaccinated against any viral diseases. So, but I'm still alive. I'm working. So
No, that's true.
yeah,
That's true. But for common people, they get
yeah,
easily carried away with misinformation.
Yeah, right, sir. Right, sir. So it's like responsibility lies on us only to make them aware, actually, sir.
Yeah,
Providing
yeah.
some.
I mean, actually, our media is also responsible for scaring us.
Yes, that's true, sir. That's true.
Sharma Saikia sir, before we go on, I think before we can probably take a couple of
Yes, please,
later,
please.
but I will request Awad sir. He was going to do the vote of thanks, and I think he's still there. So Awad,
Yes, sir.
can I request you?
Yeah, yes, sir. Sure, sure. Yes. It's my pleasure, sir. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the organizers for this lecture series to celebrate late Dr. V.D. Vartak's birth centenary year, I'm here to present the formal vote of thanks. First, on behalf of all the organizers, I thank Dr. Uttam Saikia for accepting our invitation and delivering this online lecture on demystifying bats, nature's unsung heroes. We express our sincere appreciation to him for this enlightening talk. It is said that bats are often misunderstood creatures of the night, but play an indispensable role in the ecosystems around the world. Sir, with today's session, you have given very valuable information about the bats. Personally, today I came to know that bats are the animals who are the fastest. And as a botanist, I was really pleased to know that almost 500 species of plants are actually depending on the bats for pollination. So we are thankful to you all. And I'm also thankful to all the members of Maharashtra Vruksha Samvardhini, Institute of Natural History Education Society, Pune, and the Department of Botany, RG College, Mumbai, for getting involved in making this flyer and helping the technical aspects of this session. All the participants, teachers from various departments, and the students who have responded to our invitation and they are attending this session for this program deserves a special thanks. Please
Sir,
also please
is
also
there recording available? Is there recording available, sir, for this session?
Yes, there will be one.
Yes.
Yeah, we will
Thank
share the link.
Yeah. Also like and subscribe the YouTube channel of Mission Devrai for further information. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, and thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And that is the channel where the recording will be available. So please do check in a day or so. It should be there. Thank you so much, Awad sir.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I just wanted to ask one thing. I think you have edited one of the book on natural resources management for enhancement of adaptation and mitigation. When you were in ICR Research Complex for NEH region?
Uttam.
Yeah.
Sir?
So you were in ICR Research Complex earlier? Meghalaya?
No, sir.
Okay.
No.
I think there is one more Mr. Saikia, I guess.
Yes, could be, sir.
Okay.
Could be,
Yeah.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
He started his career from ZSI and still
Okay.
he's rising up all the ladders
Great.
slowly.
Great.
Saikia,
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, sir.
And basically, I just follow up. I was very curious. You showed so many different variety from our Himalayan region. I think Meghalaya, because of its cave system, is it home to bigger diversity?
Yes, sir. This is we don't have any concrete proof to, in this aspect, but this is what we suspect because Meghalaya has got lots of caves. For example, around 2,000 caves, which have been we know them, and out of these, at least 1,200 caves have been explored. Mapped to some extent. And I have been to many caves in the state, and we have found that at least over 30 species of bats are mostly found inside caves. So this could be one of the reasons that since there are lots of caves and caves are like a very stable, they provide very stable microclimate for bats to roost, actually to hibernate also. So this is one of the probably prime reason for this huge diversity of bats in the state of Meghalaya, small state. And secondly, this could be that since maybe in other places also it's quite diverse, but since we are working here and for last so many years, so we have explored Meghalaya bats to a great extent. So that could be another reason, but I suspect in other states of Northeast, especially like states like Mizoram and all, they should have also equally fascinating bat diversity.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, incidentally, about 9 years ago, I attended a workshop which was conducted by an expert from the Harrison Institute, and had brought in some bat recorders, and we learned to use them. We went out, also did some recording of bats in variety of places. But the bat recorders themselves were very expensive at that time for most of us to afford. And they are not quite. Has there been any improvement? And you mentioned about bat recorders. So is it something amateurs or people who are more keenly interested in bats? I heard about these people especially in Western countries who go about recording themselves. Is that something possible in India?
Yes, very much possible. Nowadays, bat recorders are not expensive at all. The one I am using is a little bit expensive because it was bought many years back, and of course it's a full spectrum bat recorder. But nowadays you can get a bat recorder for a couple of thousand of rupees. And I have seen last year only we went for a workshop, State of India's Bat in NCBS in Bangalore. So there I have seen some students, they are using a very small device which can be connected to a mobile, and they can record the calls. And for analyzing the calls, of course, that the software, there are some software which are free, and there are some software which are here to do a subscription. But even the free software called Raven, which is provided by Cornell University, at the ontology lab of Cornell University, it's a free software. So you can do the analysis without paying anything. So with a very cheap recorder, with the recordings transferred to your mobile, then you can do the analysis in free software. It's easy, sir. It's possible now, very much.
So, incidentally, Uttam,
Sir?
Rajgopal is a good student, not rather student. He has achieved a lot of laurels in the bioacoustics.
Oh, great! That I'm
So I
happy to
think,
hear, sir. Yes.
yeah, I was expecting this question from Rajgopal.
Oh, sir, I just took a plunge in bioacoustics only 2-3 years back, of course. And I have still, because I have my friends who are working basically, normally Rohit Chakraborty, he's now working with NCF, Nature Conservation Foundation. So he's for most of the analysis, I rely on him only. Yeah, I do call.
Rajgopal is very good in bioacoustics. He conducts workshops also.
Okay, great. So he works on which group?
Yeah, mostly birds and frogs.
Okay, sir. So that you must be knowing about this Raven Pro, then, sir. No, sir?
Yeah, and that's the one I use. Very good.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Nice. Uttam, I'll catch up sometime again.
Yes.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
I don't think we have any more questions. I'm sure people have a few more questions they can direct you.
Yeah.
So, I think let's stop the streaming, and Saikia, sir, thank you once again. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
It was a wonderful session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Wonderful lecture. Vartak sir पण आलेत आपले.
Sir, yeah.
Looking forward to attend more sessions from your side, and whatever kind of this thing is required